Welcome to Tezos Japan. This is Mac, and I've been getting a lot of feedback recently on Twitter and YouTube. People asking me, how can I set this up on a VPS? A lot of people just want to run single nodes by themselves or with a small group of friends, and they don't necessarily want to use a NanoLedger S, or they don't have the internet stability of being in a big metropolis, and so they want to use something that's more remote. Not necessarily quite as secure as the NanoLedger S, but with enough security so that they don't have to worry about their investment. So today I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to set up a Tezos Node and a Tezos Baker, as well as an automated payment system, all on one VPS that will run you about $20 to $30 a month. Now, this VPS isn't going to have the greatest security. It also isn't going to have the best redundancy, because it's going to be everything all in one. However, if you want to keep the cost to a minimum and you want to make sure you have a stable internet connection and a stable power source, this is probably the best option that you're going to have. Anyways, without more to do, let's get to it. So to start off today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to head over to vultr.com. I'm going to need you to make an account. This is my referral number if you want to go ahead and use this link. You go ahead and sign up for an account, link your credit card, and from there, we're going to go ahead and head over to the main and click on Products. This link will take you to the page that I'm on here. You want to click on this plus button here and hit Deploy New Server. From there, you're going to head and hit Cloud Compute right here. Scroll down. I would recommend hosting your server probably in Seattle. It's a pretty safe spot. Los Angeles is okay. If you do it in Seattle, you have the option down here to go ahead and enable DDoS protection, which is what you're going to want in the future if you decide to make it into a bigger operation. Or you can also just take one of your automated backups and then back up to a different location, or restore your backup to a different location. Anyways, for right now, I'm going to choose Tokyo because I'm here and I don't want to worry about the latency. So go ahead and click on your location. Click on Ubuntu. You want 20.04. You can see that right here. And go ahead and scroll down. For this setup, we're going to go ahead and we're going to need the $20 a month deal. It will have 2 CPUs and 4 gigabytes of RAM. This should be plenty to keep your automated payments running, as well as keep a very stable bakery running. Now from there, we're going to go ahead and scroll down. You want to enable automatic backups. You want to enable DDoS protection if you want to have that off the bat. You can always add it later if you're in the location that allows for DDoS protection. With regards to SSH keys, don't worry about it. For your host server name, go ahead and type in whatever you want for your VPS to name your VPS. I'll name mine TezForce 2020. And then you're going to hit Deploy Now. As it's installing, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through a few of the steps that we'll be taking, as well as first we're going to be doing is this is not going to be the most secure setup, okay? There's not going to be a dedicated firewall. There's not going to be dedicated logging or anything like that. I'm not going to set that up. If you decide to do research and set that up yourself, that's great. However, this is meant for a person who wants to have 1 or 2 delegators, a group of friends, and you want to automate the payments, and you're just interested in the technology and want to get hands-on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install the SSH server. Create an extra user. We'll call that user Tezos user, or whatever you want. Then we're going to go ahead and make it so that you can only log in through SSH, log in remotely, using that the Tezos user's login information. That means you can separate the root user from the normal users, everyday users, so that way if somebody does manage to remotely log into your system, they won't have the root password, they can't steal your private keys, they can't mess with your baker. From there, we're going to go ahead and create public keys and private keys and send it to your baker. That way you can't even log with the password. You actually need a special file that's encrypted and to log into your VPC. After that, we're going to go ahead and copy your public key over to your VPS. Change it to your authorized keys. And then we're going to go ahead and start downloading the Tezos node, get it all synced, start up the Tezos client, get that synced, add the Tezos, make a new Tezos identity, start the baker, start the endorser. From there, we're going to install the Vnc server. We're going to install Vnc so you can use it through SSH. That way your connection is encrypted. From there, we're going to go ahead and register as a baker. Sorry, I flip-flop these around because you have to do a lot of stuff for the Tezos node. That takes a lot of time. Go ahead and install Lucy, the tap server, and work with the automated payments, and I'll take you through that. Anyways, it looks like I just got the alert that our node is set up successfully, so we'll go ahead and head over back to Chrome. We'll click on our Tezos 2020 node. Now you can see the IP address right here. We're going to copy that. Little copy button to Notepad. I'm going to go ahead and copy this in up here. This is our IP address. Now we're going to go back to the Chrome. Go ahead and copy the password. Go back to Notepad and paste the password. So from here, let's go back and go ahead and go to terminal. We're going to SSH into our Tezos node. So hit type in SSH root at, and then you're going to go ahead and copy and paste the IP address. And you can go ahead and copy and paste that password we just took. Paste that in. And we're in. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to change your password for the root. So PASSWD ROOT. And new password will be Tezos 2020. And retype that, Tezos 2020. And we're going to go ahead and update our system. Sorry, you don't need sudo here. You're already the sudo user. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and apt upgrade. All right. Okay, now that once that's done, we're going to go ahead and create a new user. This will increase the level of security for our VPS. And new password. And you can put in whatever you want here. It doesn't really matter. From there, we are going to go ahead and edit our SSH configuration. So you can go and copy the link that copy the information from the notepad that I'm going to put in the description. This is located in your SSH configuration folder. All right, so let's go ahead and copy that. I'm going to use Nano here. I usually use Vim, but I think Nano is a little bit easier to follow for a tutorial. So we'll go ahead and change the port number to 9797. All right. And you can go ahead and you can choose any port number you want. However, make sure it's not one of the Tezos ports. From there, you want to deny root login. And scroll all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, down. And then here you want to go ahead and type in allow users Tezos user. This will allow your Tezos user just created to build a VPS SSH into this VPS. Now you're going to hit Control X and save and hit enter. All right. From here, we're going to go ahead and restart the clear the screen. Restart the SSH service. So service SSH reload. Now let's go ahead and go to a new browser. Let's go ahead and go to a new browser window. Do not close this one, just in case you messed up the configuration. You want to keep this open so you can fix the configuration. Go to a new window. So I have a new one open here, a new tab. And we're going to test to see if we can SSH in. So you're going to SSH. You're going to type in Tezos user and at, and then type in that IP address we just used. There you go. That doesn't work. We just changed the port. That's right. So type in the P word and 9797, right? Yeah, that should work. And Tezos 2020. Boom. All right, we're in. So since that worked, next step is to go ahead and work on our public keys and private keys. So for this, we're going to go ahead and exit out and clear the board. You want to go ahead and create the private keys on your home computer. So what you're going to do is on your local PC, we just went back to our local PC by hitting exit. You're going to paste in this SSH keygen to enter. And for this part, you might, if you're new to this kind of thing, to like Ubuntu or Mac OS, make sure that you put you change this, because this is not the default folder normally. Not, at least it isn't for me. This is for the root folder. You want to put this in your users folder. So what you want to do is go ahead and type in .ssh/Tezos Node, and that'll put it in your the current users folder. I hid that from you guys, so nobody knows. Anyways, there's that. Password is Tezforce 2020. So secure. Tezforce 2020. All right. So it is now created. Clear the screen. From here, we want to go ahead and send and copy. Now what we're going to do, if you look at this next command here, we're going to copy the SSH from this local computer to this computer using the SSH port with this user. So it'll put it in this user's folder, the public key. Okay, so we're going to copy that and going to go back to terminal. Just go and paste that in there. Enter. Now put in the password for the for the Tezos user, which was Tezforce 2020, and now it is sent. So if we want to check to see if the key was added, all we have to do is go back here. And if you want to see hidden files, you hit LSA. So you can see here it has your SSH folder. So how you want to do this is you want to go back to the notepad. I actually have a little shortcut here. So you can copy nano from this folder. So you can go ahead and paste that right there. Now this will show you, yep, you can see right there. So you're going to go ahead and make sure you go to cd/home/Tezos user. All right, then you're going to go ahead and copy in that thing I just showed you. Nano SSH authorized keys. This is your SSH folder with your SSH keys for this user, and the authorized keys will go in there. Okay, they'll go in this file. They'll be noted in this file. Those are the public keys. So go ahead and look at that. Okay, looks like we're good. It got added. Control X to get out of there. Don't change anything. From there, we're gonna go back to our notepad. What else do we have to do? Oh, we want to go ahead and next we want to change our configuration so that we can only access our VPS through the public keys, not through the private keys. So let's go ahead and there you go. So I entered the Sshd configuration file. So from here, you see the permit root logins off. You want to make sure public key authentication, yes. Now it sees the authorized. So you can see right here the authorization key file is right here. This is the default. Okay. Now you go down here, and it says password authentication yes. You want to turn this off. So from here you want to go change your password authentication to no. Okay. And Control X. Save it. And go ahead and notepad this sudo authentication. I'll go to service SSH reload. Boom. All right. Now we're gonna go back to this thing, and we're gonna try to do this again. Now we're gonna go ahead and go back here. Now, as you can see, we have with the SSH before with the Tezos user, correct? So now this time to SSH, we are going to go ahead and add an extra. See on my notepad, add an extra line here. This identifies the path of the public key or of the private key that we just gave the public key for. So go back to terminal, go ahead and add the path, and we should be golden. Just kidding. I think there might be something else we have to do, but okay. Looks like we're golden. Okay. Now that didn't work. Just for those of you guys who might have some problems. For me, the first time it didn't work. I think it's because this is my third time making this video, trying to re-edit it and everything. But you might need to change the permissions. So in order to change the permissions, just go ahead and type in this command here, chmod 600. You have to make sure that only the user who created the key has access to the private key. Otherwise, SSH won't work. Anyways, if you have any problems, just leave a question in the comments, and I can try and help out. Okay, so we are able to log in using the private key, right? For this, we're going to go ahead and do some multitasking, okay? So what you want to do is you want to go back to your root user login, type in screen, and enter. Now, screen is so you can have multiple command lines open under one sort of screen. A little bit confusing, but it allows you to do everything from one tab rather than having to go from tab to tab or open up new SSH sessions. So you can do everything from here. Anyways, so now we're in a new screen session, as you can see. You can go ahead and I'll explain how to use this. You hit Control A C, and it creates a new one. Then you hit Control A, and it'll bring you back to the old one. You just like type test, and then you can hit, and then it'll take you back to the old one, new test. And then you can go back, and then like that. Okay, so it makes things a little bit simple. This will make it so we can do multiple things at once and get this installation done a little bit faster. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, go back to our notepad. Looks like we have to install this JP app. Now this is in order to get this file down here. Basically, want to grab in order to start a node, Tezos Node, you have to have like a screenshot of the old node. Otherwise, it takes forever to sync. So we're going to go ahead and sync the short node. This doesn't take too long. So we're going to go ahead and go back to terminal, install this JP thing. It takes a couple seconds. All right, and from there, we're going to go ahead and go back to copy this, go to terminal, and paste. Because we're missing the URL. Okay. Oh, sorry, I copied and pasted wrong. Anyways. I see what's wrong. I think I copied an extra. There we go. Sorry, it wasn't JP, it was JQ I have to install. I don't know what JP is. Oh, I'm retarded. Change that. Once you install JQ, I'm going to go back to the notepad. You're going to go ahead and copy and paste this thing. This is the Floji website. It pulls off the latest Tezos node. Go back to terminal, and there we go. So now you can see we went ahead and are installing the mainnet, or downloading the mainnet node snapshot. So I hit Control A. And you can see we're going back to our other screen. We're going to go ahead and get the unzip file. Make sure we can unzip. So apt get details. Okay. It looks like it's already installed, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay. Next, you want to install bubble wrap. Okay, bubble wrap is all finished. Next, you want to install OPAM. So OPAM's done. We're going to install. Was that OPAM? Oh yeah, okay. Now we're going to go ahead and copy OPAM and change the permissions. Just copy and paste this from the from the document I gave you. This is going to clone the Tezos Git. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and cd into the Tezos folder and switch to mainnet. All right. From here, it begins the build process. This takes a while. So we're going to go ahead and type in opam init there. Right. Looks like that was successful. So now next we want to copy and paste the next command. It's these couple of commands right here. Eval and make and go back to the terminal. Copy and paste those in. Running as root is not recommended. All right, so the next few commands are pretty simple, or pretty fast here. This is all I grabbed all this from the Tezos development documentation. So it's all pretty much what they say to do to install the Tezos node. Anyways, now we're going to go ahead and unzip the rolling node. So the one we were just downloading in the other command, it should be done. cd into the Tezos user. Yeah, you can see right there, it's finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to unzip this file. Remember we installed the unzip application earlier. This takes a couple seconds. Oh, wow. Oh. All right, that was pretty fast actually. So next we want to generate a Tezos identity. So we'll cd into Tezos. This is now we're in the Tezos folder, and we'll create an identity. It automatically creates level 26, so you don't need to add that parameter. All right. So after you create the Tezos identity, you're going to go ahead and you're going to import the snapshot we just took. You want to import the snapshot, and a lot of people who are watching this tutorial might be doing it at a later date. So what you want to do is you want to take this middle number between these two dots. This is the block number, right? So you want to copy that, and then you want to paste it right here. So this will confirm that the block number that you're that the file that you're using, the rolling snapshot, actually finishes at that block, or if it's like a fake what do you call it, a fake snapshot, and someone is just trying to corrupt your blockchain and scam you out of money. Now, honestly, no, I don't think anybody's done that so far. In the future, as people get better with blockchain, it's a possibility. So that's why it's just better to keep this kind of security by making sure you you define the parameters properly. Anyways, so just copy and paste that the way I told you. And as you can see here, it's going to confirm all of the elements. All right, so looks like it is done importing it. We can go ahead and run the Tezos node. So go ahead and go to the notepad. You can see I have the Tezos node address right here. And actually, you can, yeah, just copy and paste it to terminal. All right, now you can see it's done. So we are good. Now this is going to take a while to sync. Therefore, continuing with the rest of our installation. Skip the Baker process right now, because in order to run the Baker, we need to first have the node synced, which right now it's probably like about a day behind, so it might take a while. So we're going to go ahead and go back to Notepad, and to do this, we'll start installing the Vnc Viewer. So go back to Terminal, and if you remember what we said before, we hit Control A. Control A will take you to the separate tabs we're making, the separate screen session we have within our SSH session. Now, we can go ahead and copy those other, these steps right here. These all take a little bit of time. I'll just do these one at a time. Now, as you're doing these, just hit yes for everything. There's no special configuration. Okay, so it looks like you can't do all this at once. So I'm just going to do one at a time. I'm just going to do one at a time here. There we go. Now it's working. So I'll do the other, go ahead and do the other two commands here. BDM3. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, next one. And next we have to install Tiger VNC. This command right here. Sorry. Oh, no. Sorry, I just copied the command. In here. Okay, looks like it's done. Oh, now look at the notepad. It says we need to. I gotta change back to the Tezos user. Let's go ahead and put the firewall. Copy and paste the firewall rules in. Sudo. Sorry. We'll go ahead and first sudo root. Just force to that and copy and paste all of our. Copy these ones. Copy these ones. So we're blocking the normal VNC access. And then we're allowing all of the Tezos access. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and try and VNC. So we'll copy and paste this. Then we'll switch to terminal and exit there. So now I'm Tezos user. Now I think we can do this. I need to set a password, so Tez Force 2020. Tez Force 2020. Do you want a view only password file? This is very important. You do not want view only. Okay, so that didn't work. I think we can just go like this though. It looks like that's fine. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, kill one. And let's try this again. Okay. So we tried killing the VNC process. Now we'll try this again. My Vnc Viewer here. All I have to do is click localhost, and it should pop up. Now you can see the password right here. This password. Password will be 2020. Okay. See, there you go. And now we are in. Big. Anyways, there you go. So next, click next, privacy, whatever. Start using Ubuntu. So now you are officially on a remote server with a GUI. You don't need to save. Don't need to save your history or anything like that. I wouldn't save it. Anything. Okay. So anyways, let's go. Now that we have this ready, the next what we want to do. Oh, and in case you're wondering, if you need to download this application, the link is in the description. Here it is right here, realvnc.com. You just use this and then connect to localhost once you have the SSH channel set up. Now we're going to go back and we're going to go ahead and start the baker. Let me go back to my terminal, and to go ahead and make an address, you're going to type in Tezos client gen keys Tezforce S, and then you're going to use the this is for your encryption type. Oh, sorry, CD into Tezos, and you create the key. It's going to ask you for a password. I'm going to use Tezforce again. Okay. Now, with the notepad, I have get balance for Tezforce. So this basically we're going to list and see what the address is here. The alias we gave it, which was Tezforce. But you can see the balance is 0 right now. I'm not gonna put in my 8,000 Tezos. You don't actually need it to start the baker. It'll give you an error when you try and register as a baker if you don't have 8,000. But if you do have 8,000, then it will just ask you for your private key password, which is in this case Tezforce 2020. Go back to Notepad. You can list your known contracts. This will give you the baker's address. So go back here, list known contracts, enter. It'll show you your address, which is NAK. Now you can go ahead and get the balance for Tezforce once you transfer the 8,000 Tezos to it. Now, before you do all this, I highly recommend looking at your wallet on tezbox.com. No, I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that right now. So if you look here, you can see I put a link, tezbox.com. This is one of the few websites that you can actually use to use what do you call it, the encryption key, not just like the words or whatever, the 16 words. This one you can actually use the key, the private key. So I use Kukai a lot, but Tezbox allows you to use a key. So anyways, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and go back to Chrome. You can go ahead and go to restore existing account, and you can go to private key. All right, and then we're going to go back to the, nope, sorry. From right here, this will show you your secret key. That's the capital S means. So just copy that, go to terminal, and to get your secret key, you paste it here. This shows you your secret key. It's encrypted EDSK. Okay, so you just copy from EDSK all the way to the end. You can just copy that, right? And go back to Chrome and go down here. You can see it says EDSK. You can just, thank you. Then you can just go ahead and put your private key right there, and your encryption password, which was Tezos. Now, if you put the wrong encryption password here, it's gonna give you the wrong address. Basically, what ties your private key to your whatever ties your private key to your baker is the what do you call it, the encryption password. Sorry, the private key to your actual public key, which is your TZ1 address, is the encryption password. So you need to have the encryption password that you set in this the terminal window. So you hit restore account. Then here you can double encrypt your password. I'll use Tezos. So this could be another password. This is just to encrypt it within Tezbox. It's like basically encrypting the encryption. I don't know if that makes any sense, but so it's like double, triple encrypted. Oh, okay. So I need to have an uppercase letter. I'll put a capital. Now this one you can forget because we're only going to look at this once. So what you should be doing with this information I'm giving you right now is just go ahead and look at this, copy this one, copy this key, then go back to your terminal and paste it here. Now you can see it's NAK, right? And you want to go back up here and make sure that it matches this Tezos key. This means that your encrypted password as well as your secret key match each other. And that way you can make sure you can send and receive your Tezos from this address. I'd also do a test transaction before you send the full 8,000 Tezos. Okay. Anyways, so that's just the optional task I put for this. All right, cool. So the next step, we're going to go back to the notepad, and the notepad says we are going to register Tezos as a delegate. Okay. This, we can go ahead and do this. However, it's going to give us an error because I don't have 8,000 Tezos, but at least you can understand that. So go here, see 8,000 Tezos. So it says empty implicit contract. So it's an implicit contract, not a baker's contract. So basically, yeah, you need to, and as right here it says, node is bootstrapped. That means it's synced properly. Okay. So you can go ahead and inject operations or whatever you like. So which basically that means we can go like this. We go here. We can hit Control A C, which gives you a new window. Go back to your notepad. You can go ahead and start the baker. Oopsies. Start the baker. Copy and paste. This is your baker, right? Boop. Okay. CD Tezos. You have to make sure you're in the Tezos folder and the baker. And now you have to input your encrypted key, which was Tezos 2020. Oops. All right, the baker has now started. Now it tells you basically every couple seconds that it checks the new block. This is the block. This is the block level. There's no, basically for the first, there's a certain amount of blocks you have to wait. Sorry, yeah, a certain amount of blocks you have to wait in order to get baking rights. And once you get those baking rights, then they don't even show up until later. You can go ahead and click on the link above, and it will show you my video that explains all of this. Anyways, so now you want to go ahead and start the endorser. So go ahead and hit Control A C again, and go to your notepad, and you can run the endorser. All right. Now, endorser. Now, your keys are double encrypted. Basically, this encrypted key you put in was like your Nano Ledger S with the other tutorial I went through. Which this isn't nearly as secure, yes, but it's also not a pain in the butt. and you can run it remotely with a lot less hassle and not having problems with the ledger and things like that. Anyways, so the next step, we are going to download Lucy. So you can go ahead and go back here, download Lucy, just copy and paste. I'm going to go ahead and run these next few steps. I'm not going to switch back and forth, just to go fast. Okay. Download Lucy. And I probably shouldn't have done this from the Tezos folder. I would put it in a different folder. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. You're only using it once. You can delete it later. But change the permissions to Lucy. So you can run it as an installer and go ahead and run the application itself. Now it's going to run you through this installer. Go ahead and hit enter. Enter to continue. You accept the license agreement? Yes. That one you actually have to press Y. But the location doesn't really matter too much. Lucy password. This Tez Force 2020. I never had to use this password before, so it's just the initial setup pretty much. This you can keep it all at the normal. Running it as root is fine. You can change it to run it as a user if you want. It doesn't. It matters. Keeps it's more secure to run it as a different user. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to run it as root. Yes, you want to start Lucy at boot. No, this is a key one. You do not want to install the Apache connector. This will open up your ports and make you more vulnerable. So you want to make sure you close it and make it so you can only access this server, this web server, through the loopback address on your PC when you're running the VNC through the SSH tunnel. Okay, so yes, we're going to continue. Okay, so we did everything. That was fast. Yes, I have progressed to wine. All right, now we're going to go ahead and go to, we're going to stop Lucy for now. So you can see my notepad. I have I'm pretty much all these commands laid out already. So we're going to stop Lucy. Stop Lucy. Stop Lucy. And then we're going to go ahead and we have to grab this, basically set up the database for Lucy. Or this, it's like a, what do you call it? Like an add-on. Okay. So just basically download this, the database file. Oopsies. Copy. Download the database file. Okay, downloading. It's really small file. Then just move it. I go ahead and made it simple for you. You can just move the file to this. You want to move it into this folder. In the Lucy folder. Sorry. You want to move it into this folder right here. Okay. That's all on the Lucy website as well. You can look up how to install taps, Tezos taps, and then it'll give you the instructions on how to do all of this. Okay. So go ahead and install, move it. So I just moved it right. Copied it. Then now we're going to CD into this. CD into this folder. CD into this Tomcat Web Apps folder root. And then we're going to clone the Tezos file to it. The Tezos Rio taps file to it. And thank you, Rio team, for providing this. This has been a really, really great tool. Yeah, props to you guys. Go ahead and copy and paste that. Sorry. Okay, you can see I'm cloning it in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and start up Lucy. Start Lucy. Yeah. All right. Now, we can go ahead and go to our notepad. Remember our notepad here. And you see this is our taps server address. This is basically localhost and your loopback address, right? So we're going to go to right here. And I'm going to go to Activities, go to Firefox browser. And all we have to do here is basically copy and paste. Boom, shaka lam lam. And taps pops up here. The password is admin and admin. You have to change it as soon as you get in. Now, here is the tap server. So you can see right now you're logged in using the loopback address. Nobody can access this except through an SSH tunnel, which is very secure, at least from my personal knowledge. Now from there, you need to go on and configure your wallet. Now, sorry, you have to go to setup. Where's setup? Setup. You have to go to setup first, right? So let's say your baking address is this, right? So we went here before. Sorry, we went to terminal, right? So we go to terminal, right? And I think we just scroll up here, can we? Scroll up. I messed this up. No. No. Okay, so basically I went back to the Tezos folder. We're gonna have to find out our secret again. So I'm just gonna use this this address right here. Remember, we have the secret key, the encrypted EDSK file. All right, so this is, let's just say our baker address is this, right? EZ1, right here. Right here. Default rewards, what, 8%? You say that. Update frequency, you can say 10 minutes or whatever. User, type in your new username. We'll call it Tezos user, and then we'll call it Tezforce. Okay, so go back to the Vnc Viewer. I'm going to go ahead and go to terminal. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and copy the this hash. I'm going to go ahead and just copy that into here. This is your baking address. Okay, and then your default rewards, whatever you want that to be. Update frequency 10 minutes, whatever. Tezos user, and then Tezforce 2020, Tezforce 2020. Hit save. Don't save. Congratulations, taps was set up successfully. You're pretty much good here. From this point on, you can import the wallet. Now this part is kind of annoying. You can only import your mnemonic words or import your wallet. So you have to use a Python code in order to get the mnemonic words for your other address, which honestly I did before. The easiest way would be to just figure out your own mnemonic words or Google this, or to create a new wallet and then create a new wallet with Kukai and just get the mnemonic words that way. All right, guys. So that's it for my Tezos VPS tutorial. I hope it's been helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. If you have any security concerns or if you have any requests, feel free to leave those in the comments below or shoot me up on Twitter or LinkedIn or anything. If you feel like there's a better automated payments reward method, please let me know. I'm always looking at new methods, and I'm really interested in the upcoming technology coming out in the Tezos atmosphere. I'm really excited for this next protocol upgrade. It seems really interesting. These snarks will be, hopefully it'll be a game changer. But anyways, thanks you for viewing, and have a great day.